Hello friends, Dave here, Relative Martian. Thank you for joining me. Today we are changing the oil on a 2010 Land Rover. This is a Rover HSE. It has a 5.0 V8 motor, so this should be the same or similar, I believe, on any Land Rover Rover HSE from 2010 to 2014. This does call for Castrol Edge oil, 520, and it takes 8.5 quarts. You'll also need an internal oil filter. I'll show you how to change this to get the seal correct. This is an AC Delco. You can see the part number there. But I'll put the link in the description to the oil and the filter so you can pick those products up and change the oil yourself. You can certainly do it yourself at home, save yourself a little bit of money. It's very easy. You also need a 13mm wrench to remove the oil drain plug. Pretty simple. So hopefully this helps you out. If it does, hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. I do a lot of simple how-to videos, but I also show videos of cars that I have for sale. You never know what I'll have next, so here we go. One thing I noticed when I first came in here was there is no dipstick to change or to check the oil, so you can only do it on the gauge cluster inside. So we're going to go ahead and just remove the oil fill cap so that we have a nice flow on our drain. And I'll try to bring you down here so you can see where the oil drain plug is. We get under here. Looks kind of weird, but you see that funky looking thing there. And your oil drain is right on the back side of this here. So we're gonna just righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, remove that. Now this thing is really, really tight. I can't get it off of there. And I don't have a breaker bar. I don't have any room in here, so I'm going to try to use a wrench to get some leverage. Now when you get this, you can see how I use that to get a little more leverage. Be careful you don't strip that bolt. Just hold your finger on there. Make sure that don't slip off and strip that bolt when you do that. That's a good way to... Can't get that off there. Woo, yeah. Draining, draining. Our oil filter is going to be underneath of this container. Sometimes you may be able to get that by hand. Let's try it. Sometimes you may need to get on there with an oil filter wrench. You just want to be careful not to scratch that up if you're using a oil wrench like I got. See what I'm doing there, folks? You want to be careful you don't crack this thing also. So don't put too much pressure. It shouldn't take too much. Put your rag on there so you don't scratch it. You'll feel once that breaks, now it's real easy. Just have your rag ready. Take that out of there. You'll see that it's going to be quite a bit of oil, so have your rag ready when you take that out of there. That one's in there pretty good. You just got to pop that up out of there. All right, before you remove the O-ring seal from this, just take special note of the space where that seal is sitting now before you remove it. And that way you know you put in the right spot when you put it back on there. Now you'll notice there's like a little groove, kind of like a little flat spot. You can get this in there like that and just remove that O-ring. Toss that baby aside. Here we've got our new filter. Don't get it dirty. Set that there. We've got our new O-ring here. It's okay to get some oil on that so it's nice and lubricated. And just get that right inside that seat. You'll notice, right on the bottom of those threads there's like a gap, and that seat's right in there. And then just run your finger around, make sure it's smooth, sitting nice and even all the way around. Then we're just going to take our filter, and you want to push this in there till you hear it kind of snap. You hear that little pop, you know you're good. And then make sure you thread this all the way down there. You want to do this by hand and make sure you don't crack this as you're pouring it in there, and I'm dumping oil all in it. Real nice, real nice. Let me just pop this baby back in there. Make sure you get it nice and seated so it doesn't cross thread. You don't have to go too tight. Just make sure you get that nice and snug. And then just take your rag, wipe it off a little bit. Keep her looking clean. Now we can fill her up with oil, 8.5 quarts. There's 5. You can see on here, they got it marked up by the 1/2 quart. So we should be able to put her till there, and that should leave 1.5 quarts remaining. That equal 8.5 quarts in the vehicle. As you can see, we got about 1.5, just a little over, looks like. Put another dab in. How perfect. 8.5 quarts, folks. Alright, now what we want to do, before we put the top back on here, we want to start it up and just make sure we don't have any oil leaking out of this canister or from underneath. No leaks there. No leaks there. All right, good to go. Holy shit. All right, so a couple things I just learned on this Range Rover HSE is to remove the service required indicator in the in-dash display, you need a dealer tool. So you cannot reset that oil change light yourself. I messed with that in there quite a bit, and I read up on some forums, and there is no way to do it. So, just gonna have to keep track. I did reset the trip meter, which is pretty easy to do in the display functions. So you can just change the oil every 4,000 or 5,000 miles according to your trip meter, or you can tape it up in your windshield. They say this oil's good for up to 15,000 miles. I still suggest changing every 5,000 miles anyway. It's not that expensive, and it keeps your motor running good. So anyways, I will put the link in the description to the oil and the filter. I really hope this video helps you out. Please hit the like button, please subscribe. I got more videos coming out in the future. I got a lot of content I still need to edit, and we'll see you again soon.